Arlene just like decides to just stop. She's like, there's no easy way to say this, Zari, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. Zari's like, what's going on? Like, why are you being this way? And Arlene's like, Zari, it's because... Hi everyone, it's Catchy, aka OBiGem. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Also the notification bell to be notified of all future videos. And if you like what you see, please do hit the like button so I know to keep making content like this. So we're back with another episode of Not So Berry, and as you can see, little Zarine here is looking very elated for two reasons actually. So they had come back in from their Solani wedding trip, I think like a night before this. So it was a very beautiful wedding. 100% thanks to me and how I controlled the entire thing and did not use the pack. So that's why it was good and we enjoyed ourselves and it was cute. It's funny because after the wedding ended, it started raining, and I'm like, thank you that this wedding decided to not be rained on until I was 100% done with it. So that was cute. But what was not cute is that it broke all the electronics in the rain, and then I just ended up in this weird death loop where people tried to fix things and were dying from electrocution. But we are not going to talk about that. But Zari actually came back into the city with Sienna and Julian, but decided to hang out with Arlene more because the two of them a mess. So he told his mom, hey mom, I'm gonna hang out at dad's place for a minute so that you and Julian can still have a little bit of your honeymoon space together. But he really just said that as an excuse so that him and Arlene could get up to things, and up to things is what they did. But this is actually Zari's last day in Newcrest. So like I mentioned at the, what was that, episode 2 of Yellow Gen, he moved back in with Sienna and Julian in Newcrest till he was ready to, you know, start his career as an astronaut and move to Strangerville. So I did put him in the astronaut career. As you can see, he is a intern and he will be starting work in 5 hours. So because Sienna said that she wanted to spend time with Zari, and please ignore how she's like in this wall. I don't know why this happened, but she's like this. But anyway, she's all like, honey, I want to, you know, ride in with you to Strangerville and help you purchase the house that you want, you know. It's an Everberry tradition, and Zarine's like, Mom, you're not an Everberry anymore, you're a Tinker now. Which she is technically a Tinker now. I wanted to hyphenate her name and have it be Everberry Tinker, because who is Sienna if she's not Sienna Everberry? But Everberry is too long to hyphenate with Tinker, so let me know what you guys think. Should we keep her as a Tinker? You know, by the time this loads, unfortunately, or by the time this uploads, unfortunately, Sienna will probably be passed away because she only has like 5 days left. I'm devastated, you guys. I don't want to say goodbye to Sienna yet. She's an icon. But honestly, I think I might just keep her Tinker because she doesn't have a whole lot of time left. And, you know, she loves Julian. Julian's her one and only. Where is Julian? Julian? Okay, he's in the bathroom staring at laundry. Cute Julian. But anyway, she's going to go ahead and ride in with Zarine to Strangerville. She wants to help him pick out the house because she's like, it's an Everberry tradition for the parent to buy the child a house, and so I want to do that for you. And he's like, you know what, Mom, you really don't have to. Like, I'm really intent on making my own way. And she's like, look, honey, you can do that, but I want to be able to do this for you. It's a bonding thing for us. And so Zari says, okay, Mom, sure, why not? So he already looked up in Strangerville where he wanted to live, so they're going to actually head over there now. He's going to show her the place, and Siena's going to, you know, get her funds together and transfer some more money as her present, because she's like, I want to do exactly as my dad, because we all remember Glade over here. That's exactly what he did. Oh, that's like a cute, I guess I didn't realize how cute that was of the three of them over here. I mean, Nora's on the side here, but sure. But yeah, that's exactly what Glade did. He bought her a house and gave her some money to help her get a jump start on furnishing. She's like, let me, you know, go ahead and look at my funds. I'll go ahead and buy Zari the house and then transfer him some money to get started on furnishing. So that is exactly what Sienna is going to do for her baby boy, because in her eyes, Zari is always going to be this little boy here to her. So adorable. Zari is always such a cute toddler. Now he's hot. Anyway, we're gonna let them get their day started, and I will show you guys the place. So Zari and Sienna have just made it into Strangerville, and Sienna is looking around thinking, Zari, honey, this place is dusty and desolate. Are you sure you want to live here? And Zari's like, Mom, yes, this is where I want to live. You know, I'm gonna be an astronaut, and I want to be in touch with the alien population. Everything I've read says that there's a whole lot of aliens who are in hiding here in Strangerville, so it's the perfect place for me. So Sienna says, I guess so, Zari, but this is the house that you want? And just to give you guys perspective, this is the house that Zari had Sienna purchase for him. So yes, I built this myself. I think it's super cute. But the big problem that Sienna is, she's like, I mean, it's a cute house, Zari. It's huge, actually. Like, this is a whole lot of house for just you. And Zari's like, I know, Mom. Like, the whole point of this is that I want for it to be big enough for me to, like, have a big family. That's kind of what I want. And so Sienna's like, okay, I mean, if that's what you want, baby, because, you know, for Sienna, this is kind of bizarre. You know, she spent most of her life focused on herself. So, you know, being in a situation where her son wants, like, a huge family is kind of like a foreign concept. She's like, I love you, baby, but, you know, child rearing was not really anything I really wanted. You know, she spent most of her life not really wanting kids, and she only had Zari, and that's what she wanted. She's like, if that's what you want, but honestly, Zari, the problem I'm seeing here is that have you looked inside the house, honey? It's empty. There's no appliances. There's flooring down. Most of the walls aren't finished. I mean, she's really looking at this place and seeing how it's essentially just unfinished. And she's like, honey, did you look inside this place before you decided on this being the place that you wanted to live at? And Zari's like, yes, Mom, I looked it up, and I actually purchased it or wanted it because for that reason. And so she's like, so you wanted an unfinished house, baby? Like, that doesn't make any sense. There aren't even doors on most of these rooms. He's like, yeah, I know. And she's like, I'm not understanding. Make this make sense to me, baby. Like, why does you want this? So Zari tells her, you know, I remember when I was a little kid, Granddad told me stories about when he first settled in Evergreen Harbor. He told me he barely had any money, and he essentially built up, you know, the old family house from scratch. And so I always thought from that day on that when I get to be older, then that's exactly what I want to do. I want to move into a place that I can, like, really build up and make my own. And Sia's like, honey, I know, but it's like you said, your granddad had no money. He had to start from scratch. You don't have to. And he's like, I know I don't have to, but I want to. I feel like that's part of my coming of age. I want that for me. She's like, okay, baby, if that's what you want. I just, you know, it couldn't be me living in an empty house and having to build it up and put doors in it. I mean, that's a whole lot. Are you sure you're going to be okay? And he's like, you know, Mom, and I guess, you know what, she's like, look, I'm going to go get us some food, you know, while you're away from work. So we're going to ignore that for a minute. But she's all like, he's like, that's really what I want, Mom. I want to be able to build this place up and make it my own, like Granddad did with the house in Evergreen Harbor. And she's like, if that's what you want, I'm all for it. But, you know, just know that you always have the family money to rely on. He's like, yeah, I do plan to put that on good use to, you know, help build this place up. But I do kind of want to really start depending on myself and using my income from being an astronaut to you know, build everything up. So that is what Zari is going to do. He actually has work pretty soon, so he's going to head out there. It is actually Winterfest Eve, but because Zari doesn't have a family right now, or he doesn't have any kids is really what I mean, I don't think we're going to actually celebrate Winterfest Eve this year, which is so weird because in my Not So Very State, I always celebrate all the holidays all the time. But it just doesn't really make any sense, you guys, to celebrate Winterfest Eve right now when there aren't any small children involved right now. The last Winterfest Eve we celebrated, Zari was a kid, and Zari is a young adult with no kids. So we're just gonna pretty much skip most of these traditions right now. So we're gonna have him go to work, and then him and Sienna are gonna, you know, chat later. She's like setting up a list of things that Zari needs to get himself situated. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is Zari's looking at it. He's like, you know what? Even though I do want to build this place up and make it my own, Mom's right. This place is pretty much unfinished right now. So I'm going to need to figure out a place to live and be until this place is finished, because I can't actually live in this house that I just paid for because there's nothing in it. So Zari actually has a solution for that I'm going to show you guys in just a second. So I know some of you are probably wondering, where are we? Where is Zari now? What is he walking into? Well, this is Zari's plan B for what he's going to do to essentially survive until he finishes everything he wants to do with the house he bought in Strangerville. And that is, our baby boy went ahead and rented a trailer and the trailer lot that's across the way. So as you can see, this is Zari's home right here, and this over here is a little trailer park. So when he bought this house, he's all like, well, what if I just rented by the week a trailer over here? That way I have a place where I could shower and sleep and rest, and I can go ahead and get that taken care of until I have everything situated at the house that I bought. So Zari over here, we're gonna go ahead and have him do a quick little shower because he is working like 15 minutes. So we're gonna have to take a quick shower. He just got in here. He's over here rushing. He didn't even have time to actually talk to his roommates, essentially. So this over here are the people he's going to be renting with, who were actually apprehensive about letting him rented. So this lot over here is owned by this individual right here, and her name is Solera Star. She owns this trailer right across from the one that Zari is renting. So this is where she's at, and she owns this lot and rents out the other trailer to her two roommates. This girl over here, whose name is Zara Wee. So she rents that other trailer along with the other roommate, Mo Love. So, they seemed kind of weird, but he's like, I don't know, Strangerville's a weird type of place. And like I mentioned, they were apprehensive about renting to him because they're like, we're an all-girl, place. Like, I don't know. And he's like, look, I could pay you several weeks in advance. I really need a place to stay. It won't be forever. I actually own the house across the street, but it's not finished, and I need a place that I can, eat and sleep and shower until it's done. Could I please live in the vacant trailer? Because it just recently became vacant. They had another roommate that was a girl, and she moved out. So, they were in a position where they're like, we're hurting for cash. We can't really afford to, do all this. So, Solera over here is all like, oh, okay, Zareen, you can rent it. If it is temporary and you are paying a couple weeks ahead, I guess that's okay. And he's like, thank you. You will not regret this. So that was the plan. After he gets off of work, he does plan on formally introducing himself to Solera and the crew. He hasn't even seen what they look like. He kind of spoke to them over the phone, and none of them have really seen him yet. So when he gets out from work today, hopefully he can come and, meet the girls, and they can be friends, because Zari, that's one of the things Zari wants to do. Well, he wants to befriend aliens, so he's all like, they're not aliens, but hey, maybe I can be friendly towards them so that they can tell me the hot spots of where the aliens are. I don't know if we have time for him to just introduce himself to Solera real quick before he starts work. He may not, but I think I'm gonna have him go ahead and do like a friendly introduction with her. He may not have time for this because he's got work really soon, but I would like him to be like, hey, I just got in, I'm, Zareen and whatnot, and we'll see. When is this? Shouldn't he be going? Okay, he's supposed to start work right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and have him, the way I'm getting this all wrong, I'm gonna go ahead and have him speak to Solera and just say, hey, I'm headed towards work real quick, but my name is Zari. I'm the person you spoke with on the phone. So go ahead and introduce yourself and then go to work, honey. Zari is in his Casanova era right now, so let's go ahead and do it. He's going to go ahead and give Solera a flirty introduction. He actually doesn't know this is Solera yet. He just saw this girl over here and he wanted to say hello and just see, who she is, if she's the girl he spoke with on the phone or not. So Zari saw her over by the way, and he's all like, hi, my name is Zareen. I don't know if you're the girl that I talked to on, the phone the other day, but this is, I'm Zari. So they got sentiments of each other. Let's see what's going on here. So he gave her a little flirty introduction. Like I said, he's in his Casanova era. with her. So let's go ahead and open up the relationship panel and see what we got going on. So Zari thinks that Solaire is in a dreamland, and Solaire thinks that Zari's funny. Interesting. But he's like, yeah, my name is Zarvine. I don't know if you were who I spoke with on the phone, but you know, I'm the new guy who's renting the new trailer. And Solaire's like, oh, I didn't expect to see you so soon. He's like, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of time to talk right now because, you know, I'm headed off to work. I'm starting out as an astronaut, but you know, hopefully we can get to know each other a little bit better. And she's like, sure, of course. And she gives him like this double kiss introduction. He's like, oh, that's a weird way to introduce yourself to someone. And she's like, oh, is it? And he's like, yeah, most people around here like to hug. And she's like, oh, I'll keep that in mind. And so Zari's like, you know, she's kind of weird. So I think that's kind of the reason why he had that sentiment about her being in dreamland, because he's getting like weird vibes off her. And he's like, there's some odd about her, but he's like, oh well, like let me not be super late on my first day of work. So we're gonna go ahead and have Zari go to work because he has some big plans that he wants to take care of after he gets off. Oh, nice. So on his first day of work, he already got promoted to level 2. We love to see it. Look at him feeling himself. I'm telling you, Zari's in a self-love, super confident era right now. So let's see what we've got going on. Well, let me see if the notification popped up. So he was promoted to module cleaner. He will now make an additional $11 per hour for a grand total of $47 per hour. He's also received the following bonus: $581, the Astro Solar System Light, and his next shift is on Wednesday. So, you know, we don't really get a break. We still work Monday through Friday, which is cute. We love to see it. So that added a little bit of money to our account, and right now in our bank account we have $64,000 because Sienna gave everything that she saved in her bank account from when she, you know, was working as a she's still working as a politician, but she was putting away like 50% of her paychecks over to Zari. Sienna was making bank, so it's not like she was hurting for anything by doing that, but she ended up building up like $20,000 more than Glade did when he was saving up for her. So she set Zari up pretty nicely, and we're going to use that to kind of finish out the house here. Like I mentioned, this is kind of unfinished on purpose because I do kind of want to do it like I did it with Glade, where we progressively fill this in. Also, plus because I was lazy and didn't feel like finishing the house. But we're going to pretend that's not the case. We're gonna go with the storyline reason. But anyway, now that Zari is back from work, he only has one thing on his mind. It is Winterfest Eve, but, you know, and Zena did, like, she sent him a list of things that she thinks he should get to help finish out his house. But Zari's like, ooh, honey, baby child, what are you wearing? We're gonna have to give you a different outfit for your career. We'll fix you up soon. But he's really only has one thing on his mind right now, even though Sienna said that, you know, honey, why don't you come back home for Winterfest and Winterfest Eve? We could all celebrate together, me, you, Julian, and, you know, be like a family like that. And he's like, Mom, I need to settle in somewhere in Strangerville. Plus, it's really because there's somebody he wanted to spend Winterfest Eve with. So he's actually texting her right now, and he's gonna go ahead and meet her in the local restaurant. He asked her, you know, please come out here, please come out. I know it's a little bit of a hike, but please come out here. And she reluctantly agreed. So she's gonna meet him at the local restaurant so they can have a little bit of Winterfest dinner together. So you may have already guessed it, but yes, the person he wanted to spend Winterfest Eve with was Arlene. So she came out here even though she was super reluctant, and Zari's like, Arlene, it is so good to see you. You look beautiful. And Arlene's like, Zari, stop it. You kind of like are always just being too kind and giving me too many compliments. And he's all like, well, you deserve it. And he's like, there's a lot I want to talk to you about. And she's like, honestly, there's quite a lot of things I want to talk to you about too. So I'm actually looking for them to have a table. That's the reason why I moved over here. Ooh, I wish there was a table for 2, but there's not. So we're going to go ahead and get them this table, because all of these are tables for 4, and I think the seating out here is actually like even more so than that. So we're just gonna get that table for 4. Oh well. And he's gonna like, let's get a table real quick, and we'll go in and eat, and I'll tell you everything I've been having on my mind, you know, since, you know, you and I last saw each other at my mom's wedding. And she's like, yeah, there's some stuff I want to talk with you about too. So, let's go ahead and we'll do that. So now that they're at the table together, Zari really wants to have a real discussion with Arlene. He's like, I'm so glad you made it out here. I really missed you. And she's like, Zari, it hasn't been that long since the wedding ended. And he's like, well, it feels like a lifetime for me. Like, I just really like you. Arlene's like, Zari, again, you're really sweet. And he's like, well, you look nice today. And it just reminded me about how I wish we could just see each other every day like this. And Arlene's like, well, Zari, I live in, San Myshuno. That's can't really happen. And he's like, yeah, but I've been thinking about that. You and I have such a great connection with each other, and we really like each other, and I don't see why we should be spending any type of time apart. So I was wondering, how about, what would you think about moving out here and living with me in Strangerville? So Arlene told him, Zari, I know you really like me, and you and I obviously have a strong physical attraction to one another, but I don't think that that's anything to be building a relationship on. And Zari's all like, Arlene, I don't understand. You said you liked me, and I like you, so like, that's exactly where I think we should be building from. And Arlene's like, but Zari, really think about it. Like, what do you know about me? What do we actually have in common? And Zari's like, well, I mean, we like each other. Isn't that like enough? And Arlene's like, no, it's not. I mean, do you even know what my interests are? Do you even know the things I like to do for fun? Do you even know what I do for a living? What do you actually know about me? Like, I think you really need to consider the fact that we don't really know each other that well. We were step-siblings at one point, but, you barely ever came over because your dad was absentee. Like, did you know that my dad actually passed, like, a day or two after the wedding? Like, I'm literally an orphan now. Like, I don't have anybody I'm kind of a mess right now. And Zari's like, oh my gosh, Arlene, I did not know that. Like, do you want to come over, help me make you feel better? And Arlene's like, Zari, no. Like, you can't keep trying to make me feel better the way that you've been making me feel better. I mean, again, there's a physical attraction here that's undeniable, but we don't know anything about each other, Zareen. We don't. And honestly, part of the reason why I even kind of agreed to come out here and have this conversation with you and meet with you, because there's something I need to tell you. So Zari's a little taken back by the turn this conversation has taken, because he didn't expect for Arlene to just not want to immediately move in with him and for them to explore where their relationship could go. He just assumed that she would be on board, and he's like, I don't get it. The last couple days, the day before the wedding, the day of, and the day after, she and I, really connected. I mean, he's really not understanding the fact that they really physically connected and didn't really do much else but that. But Zari, all of this is quite new to him. So I think in his mind, he thinks, what else is there? Isn't that enough? And he's not really thinking clearly about the fact that they really don't have anything in common, or he doesn't really know that much about her. So Zari says, sure, Arlene, what's going on? Like, you said you want to come over here and discuss something. Like, what is it that you want to talk about? Like, what's wrong? Arlene's like, I mean, I don't really know how to tell you this, sorry, but this is a whole mess. You and I should not have gotten involved with each other. And Zari's like, Arlene, I don't understand why you're being this way. Like, this isn't how you were the last time we saw each other. Like, I really thought we were, heading somewhere to be together. And Arlene's just like, Zari, you don't understand. Like, you and I have different goals and wants in lives. Like, I don't really even think it makes sense for us to be talking about us having that type of future. Arlene just, decides to just stop. She's like, there's no easy way to say this, Zari, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. Zari's like, what? What's going on? Like, why are you being this way? And Arlene's like, Zari, it's because it's because I'm pregnant. So Zari hears that and he's instantly taken aback, like, pregnant? And so Zari's like, I mean, is it mine? So Arlene tells him, Zari, you're the only person I've slept with in like a while. Or, I'm gonna be honest, Zari, I haven't ever slept with anyone before you. Like, you were technically my first. He's like, you're kidding. Like, you seem like you had so much experience. And she's like, I mean, I've had boyfriends before, but I never actually slept with any of them. Arlene's like, I think it was just the grief of me losing my mother. I needed something to take my mind off of all of that. And, being with you helped. And so Zari's like, I can't believe it. You're pregnant with my child. This is crazy. She's like, yeah, that's why I wanted to come in here and tell you that. But honestly, Zari, I don't think it's a good idea for us to be together because you and I have different wants and goals. I decided what I wanted for my life because after losing my mom and my dad, I realized that, time waits for no one. I want to be an entertainer and say my Shuno. I want to be like a lounge singer. That's what I want to do. And Zari's like, Arlene, that sounds, nice and all, but we're about to be parents. You're having my baby. If anything, it makes even more sense right now for you to move in with me. And in fact, Arlene, we should get married. And Arlene is all the way, like, after hearing that, thinking, Zari, you're crazy. We can't get married. Like, what type of sense does that make? And Zari's like, you're having my baby, though. And I really like you. And I want to be there for the baby and for you 100%. And Arlene's like, I know, but Zari, this isn't like a romantic comedy. This is not a movie. Like I mentioned, opened this whole conversation with, we don't know each other that well. Like, you don't remember us talking before any of this got started between you and I about how, you're into space, you're a space cadet, and I don't care about any of those things. I want you to follow your dreams and do all that. But I'd be miserable in Strangerville. If I moved and gave up on my dreams of being a lounge singer and come in and live here in Strangerville with you, I'd be miserable. And eventually we resent each other because you'd either have to move to San Leishuno to be with me so I could fulfill my dreams, or I'd have to move here to be with you so you could fulfill your dreams. And eventually we'd hate each other for it. Because outside of the physical attraction, Zari, what do we have? We like doing the things that we've been doing in bed together, but I don't like space. You like space. You want to live in Strangerville. I think this place is kind of, I'm pretty sure you don't really care for my interests either. And outside of that, we don't know anything about each other. It's a bad idea for us to get married just because we're having a baby. And Zari's like, but Arlene, I love you and I want to be here for the baby. And, if we don't get married, how can I be there for the baby? I know that, we have different interests and we're really different, but, can't the physical attraction be enough? When my grandparents got married, it was because my grandma was pregnant with my mom and they managed to work it out. That's the type of guy that my grandfather was, and that's the type of man I want to be, the type of guy who stands up and steps up when, the person that they love is pregnant and, makes a firm commitment to them and makes it happen. And Arlene's like, Zari, we're not your grandparents. Like, I'm sure that worked out great for them, but you and I are too different. And you know what? I know that part of you is probably thinking this way because your dad wasn't there for you when he and your mom got pregnant with you. And I know how that feels because my dad wasn't there for me either. But we don't have to be like how our dads were. We can do this co-parenting thing and you can be just as involved without us getting married. Zari, you're sweet and all, but this isn't going to work out for us to be together. In fact, it might have been a mistake for us to even do the things that we did together. I know we said all that weird stuff about, us not being step siblings anymore because my mom died and us not really being anything but a man or a woman. But I think we kind of just lied to each other about that to give ourselves an excuse to explore, whatever romantic tension was building between us from, you being a young adult now. But, I have to find healthier ways to get over my grief, and you need to be able to live your life here in Strangerville and find somebody who has those same interests that you can have a real life with. That's what I want for me. I want to be with somebody who shares my interests too. So Zari's like, I guess I understand that makes sense. So with that, Arlene's like, Zari, I think we should just go back to being friends. You can be super involved in the baby and all that. I'm never going to keep you out. Of course, I want you to be as involved as you want to be. We'll figure it out. We'll find a way to work it out so that you can still be an involved parent, even though we're not together like that. And Zari's like, that's what I want, Arlene. But this, kind of gives me the fire to kind of really work on making sure I get the house together because I want that our future child to have a home, even if it's two homes, his home or his or her home with me or his or her home with you, their home. And Zari's like, that's what I want too, Zari. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. So Arlene did ask to just be friends. And as you can see, the bar got cleared out for them. even though, you know, there's that physical attraction there, they don't have anything in common, you guys. And Zari kind of thinking about it. Zari's thinking about it, and he's like, you know, it's true. I could never give up on my dream of being an astronaut. And, you know, I don't know anything about lounge singers and, you know, Sam Maishuno and the stuff that Arlene wants. So I think maybe I just got caught up in my own hormones of being a young adult, and I need to slow down. I'm about to be a father now, unexpectedly, and I need to get my life together for myself and for my baby, and I need to find my way here in Strangerville. So they are just friends, and this Winterfest Eve is turning out a whole lot differently than I thought. But this is actually a good place to end things, you guys. Let's find out where we're... Look at Father Winter being here. We love to see a Father Winter of color here. But we're going to go ahead and let, you know, Zari sing Zingle Zibs. Is that what he was thinking? He was for a minute. But we're gonna end here. Oh, that's not good. Okay, we're gonna end here. There we go. But we're gonna end things here, guys. What did you think of this episode? Did you expect Arlene to drop that bombshell of Zari having a baby on the way? What do you think Arlene is having? Is it a boy? Is it a girl? Is it multiples? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And I mean, I don't know when this episode's going up, so I have names in mind for Grey Jen, but drop me some baby names, because, you know, I may not use it for the baby on the way, but for Zari's future children, we might need a couple, you know, baby names for that. So give me some Grey Generation names, both boy and girl names, and they might get used. But as always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and of course, stay dazzled. I will see you in the next one. Bye.